Winter has a way of quieting things in Willow Creek, as if the whole town holds its breath beneath the weight of snow. When the fields turn white and the wind slips through every crack in every door, you begin to understand how small you really are. My name is Caleb Whitaker, and for most of my 38 years, I believed I understood hardship. But nothing prepares you for the kind that threatens the people you love most. I live with my wife, Hannah, and our daughter, Lily, in a small two-bedroom house at the edge of town. The porch sags like an old man's shoulders, the paint is mostly memory now, and the furnace groans through the night. But this house is where I hear Hannah humming while she cooks, and where Lily runs through the hallways with enough joy to make even the darkest days soften around the edges. It may not look like much, but every corner holds a piece of my heart. I work at Harlan's Market, the only grocery store left after the bigger chains swallowed everything else. My uniform is always the same, navy vest, crooked name tag, sleeves rolled up, because the stock room is always too warm. I never thought of myself as someone special. I am quiet, steady, predictable. Yet somehow people trust me, and that trust has shaped most of my life. Folks come through my line not only with groceries, but with stories, problems, and secrets they need to lay down somewhere. I listen because that is who I am. I do not speak loudly, but I care deeply. Most evenings, when I come home smelling faintly of cardboard and disinfectant, Lily meets me at the door, waving something she found near the creek. A strange rock, a feather, sometimes nothing more than a frozen leaf she insists is magical. Hannah smiles from the kitchen, flour dusting her sweater, hair slipping from its bun. Her smile makes the world feel manageable. Some nights we eat soup, some nights meatloaf, and some nights whatever is cheapest at the market. After dinner, I read to Lily until her head droops, and then I lift her gently and carry her to bed. She always curls her fingers around my shirt before falling completely asleep. That tiny grip could stop time. We do not have wealth, but we have warmth. We have laughter. We have each other. For the longest time, I believed that was enough. Then came the cruelest January Willow Creek had seen in decades. The cold arrived suddenly, a sharpness that sliced through coats and bone. Pipes burst around town, roofs buckled under the weight of snow, and heaters gave up one by one. But the true blow landed when Harlan's Market lost power for 3 full days. Every freezer thawed. Every shipment spoiled. And with it, the last fragile thread keeping the store alive. A few days later, Mr. Harlan called me into his tiny office. The man who had always stood straight sat hunched over the desk, eyes tired and full of a sorrow he couldn't hide. "Caleb, I'm sorry," he whispered. "I can't keep the store open. Friday will be your last day." I nodded, though I felt something crack silently inside me. I had no anger toward him. Just fear. Real, heavy fear. That week, nearly half the town lost their jobs. Willow Creek has never been rich, but losing the market felt like losing a part of our identity. We were a community built on small things: borrowed sugar, shared tools, someone stopping by just to check the furnace. When the market closed, something in us dimmed. I spent the next days searching for work anywhere I could. Gas stations, feed stores, repair shops, even farms that needed winter hands. Everyone said the same thing. Maybe in the spring. Maybe when things get better. Maybe, when I came home from job hunting, I hung my coat quietly so Lily would not hear the weight in my breath. She tried to make me laugh with her discoveries from the frozen creek. Hannah tried to hide the worry gathering beneath her smile. Some nights I caught her staring at the bank statements, blinking hard, as if numbers might change if she willed them to. I felt helpless in a way I never had before. One night, long after midnight, I woke to find the bed empty beside me. I walked to the kitchen and saw Hannah hunched over a pile of bills, her face lit by the dim lamp above the table. She wasn't crying, but her shoulders trembled in a way that tore something deep inside me. She looked up when she heard me. "Caleb, I'm trying," she whispered. "I know," I said. And I meant it. But I also felt the crushing truth rise inside me. I could not fix this with kindness or quiet strength. The world outside was forcing its way in. The next afternoon, a man walked into the mostly empty aisles of Harlan's market. He wore a heavy city coat, the kind with special stitching and polished buttons. He slipped on the melting snow, but kept his smile perfectly in place. His name was Victor Lang. A developer from Omaha, he said, with plans to buy up land around Willow Creek and build a distribution center. Jobs. Money. A fresh start for the town. He pulled me aside as I stacked the last cans the store would ever sell. "You're Caleb Whitaker," he said, as if reading from a file. "People trust you. I need someone like you to help the community understand the opportunity here. The pay is good." "Very good." His voice was smooth, almost comforting. But something in my stomach twisted. The land he wanted included the quiet fields behind our house, the ones Lily loved, the ones with the winding creek and red-winged blackbirds. The trucks would tear through the peace our town still clung to. Willow Creek would become something else entirely, but the money he offered could keep our lights on, fix our furnace, buy Lily warm boots that didn't leak. The temptation was heavy. That night, I sat beside Lily as she slept, watching the soft rise and fall of her breathing. I brushed back her hair and felt the weight of a decision too big for a man like me. I had always known who I was. But in that moment, for the first time, I felt completely lost. March arrived pretending to be gentle, though we all knew better. The snow melted just enough to turn every road into a river of brown slush. The air smelled like wet earth and disappointment. It was during this season of false hope that I made the hardest decision of my life. I took the job with Victor Lang, not because I believed in his plans, but because I felt trapped between two impossible choices. On one side was the town I loved, the community that shaped me, the land where Lily chased her dreams. On the other side was my family's survival. The bills on the kitchen table. The furnace that threatened to die every night. The quiet fear in Hannah's eyes she tried so hard to hide. I chose the path that felt like sacrifice, though each step felt wrong. My work for Victor was simple in theory. Attend meetings, shake hands, repeat his promises. 200 jobs. A better future. New opportunities. I had never been a salesman, but somehow my quiet nature made people listen. Some nodded politely. Some signed the papers he placed in front of them. Some looked at me with heartbreak, as if I'd betrayed everything we shared, every signature felt like a small tear in something inside me. At home, the distance between Hannah and me grew in ways neither of us knew how to name. She didn't say much, but she didn't need to. Her silence spoke with the weight of all the unsaid worries. Some nights she sat by the window long, after Lily fell asleep, watching the dark stretch across the fields. I would stand in the doorway, wanting to tell her everything I couldn't find the courage to say. But the words never came. Even Lily sensed something shifting. She would climb onto my lap with her drawings and ask why I looked sad even when I smiled. I would tell her I was just tired. But the truth was, I no longer recognized myself in the mirror. I saw a man drifting away from everything he believed in. The town hall was scheduled for the first day of April. The community center hadn't been that full in years. People stood shoulder to shoulder, bundled in coats, breath fogging the air. Outside, the remaining snowbanks held protest signs painted by neighbors I had known since childhood. Willow Creek is not for sale. Protect our home. Save the farms. Inside, Victor stood at the front with the confidence of a man who believed the deal was already won. He clicked through slides of shiny buildings, smiling workers, and promises that felt too polished to be real. His voice echoed off the walls like a sermon. When he finished, all eyes turned to me. I was supposed to be his closing statement. The familiar voice. The town's own son.my fingers tightened around the note cards he had given me, covered in talking points I had rehearsed too many times. I walked to the microphone. The room hushed the way it always did when I spoke. That silence was a kind of trust, and standing in the middle of it nearly broke me. I looked out over the crowd, faces from every chapter of my life. Mr. Olson, who taught me how to fix a tractor belt. Mrs. Delgado, who gave me my first Bible when I was 10. The Jackson twins, who played baseball with me behind the school. And in the third row, Hannah holding Lily's hand. Lily's eyes were wide and confused, as if she could sense the storm inside me. I opened my mouth to speak, but the first word caught in my throat. My heart felt like it was splitting open, right there in front of everyone. I thought of Lily asleep beneath her quilt, fingers curled into my shirt. I thought of Hannah whispering numbers in the dim kitchen light. I thought of the creek where Lily believed dinosaur bones waited beneath the mud. I thought of every morning I had woken up in Willow Creek feeling sure of who I was, and suddenly, the speech in my hands felt like a lie. I set the note cards down. My name is Caleb Whitaker, I said, my voice low but steady. And I need to tell you something I should have said weeks ago. A ripple moved through the crowd. Even Victor shifted beside me. I took this job because I was scared. Because my family needed help. Because I wanted to be the kind of man who could fix things. But all I have done is help sell the very heart of this town. My voice cracked. But I kept going. I was so afraid of failing my daughter that I forgot what real failure looks like. It looks like giving up the place that raised you. It looks like turning your back on the land that taught you who you are. I turned to Victor. You offered me money. More than I had ever seen. And for a moment, I let myself believe that was the answer. But standing here now, with the people who shaped my life, I know something I didn't before. No amount of money is worth losing the soul of this place. The room erupted slowly. First a clap. then another. Then dozens. Then the whole hall rose to its feet, cheering, crying, calling my name. Victor packed his briefcase and slipped out through a side door without looking back. The project died that night. The land stayed in the hands of the people who worked it. The birds returned to the creek. The trucks never came. Life did not suddenly become easy. We still struggled. Some months we ate a lot of oatmeal. I fixed heaters and fences for neighbors who paid me with a few dollars, or a homemade pie. Hannah kept tutoring. But small joys returned to us. The weight in our home lifted little by little. One warm May evening, Lily found me in the yard splitting wood. Her cheeks were pink from running. "Daddy," she said, almost breathless. "Mrs. Delgado says the market might reopen. Mr. Harlan's nephew is coming back. They want you to help manage it." I set the axe down and felt the world soften beneath me. Lily ran into my arms, and I held her close, breathing in the scent of sunshine and earth on her hair. That summer, Harlan's market reopened. Smaller, humbler, but full of hope. I straightened my name tag for the first time in years. And when customers walked in, they smiled the way people do when they feel safe again. Years from now, people in Willow Creek will still tell the story of the night I chose to stand up and say no. Not because I was brave, but because love demanded it of me. They tell it to remind themselves that courage does not need to shout. Sometimes it lives quietly inside a man who finally remembers what matters. And here in Willow Creek, where the fields stretch wide and honest, and my daughter still laughs by the creek, that is more than enough.